What is up, everybody? This is Wild Nutrition Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Heskett, and this is episode 70. We are here with another episode another Unapologetic Friday, I should say. Not another episode. Unapologetic Friday. Anyways, hope you are having an amazing Friday today, or whenever the fuck you are listening to this. As a reminder, what I'm going to do is not really I have some basic notes in front of me. I just go off on a tangent for the next 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes, and hopefully you get some takeaways from this, at least some motivation with today's thing, which today's topic is being anti-fragile. So what does that mean? It means not being a wimp. So we're going to talk about what that means today and get after it, because I have had some weird conversations over the past couple of months of, I don't know what the fuck is going on with people, but there just seems to be a lot of scared people in the world, and the only way to overcome that is taking action. So we're going to get into it. Let's set the timer first before I get started to keep me on track. Anyways, as a reminder, I'm going to probably fucking curse a lot, so if you're listening in the car and you don't want to hear your kids or have your kids hear curse words, you might want to turn it off. All right, let's get fucking started. All right, being anti-fragile. So if you don't know, I have dealt with low self-esteem and confidence for most of my life. I still deal with it to this day. I have a lot of self-doubt. I still deal with self-sabotage. So while I am teaching you guys about a bunch of stuff, I am still learning it myself. A lot of times I'm teaching you guys the stuff that actually works and why the shit that you're actually trying to do won't work. Because I've done it, because I've been in your shoes there when it comes to self-esteem. Again, I have not been in people's shoes where you are very overweight, you're obese. I have not been in your shoes there. I can teach you how to get out of it, but I haven't been in your shoes, which is why I do talk to people who have been in those shoes to help people who are obese. But when it comes to low self-esteem and confidence, I've been in that fucking situation. And you know what? It fucking sucks. And you know what else you do? You point at every other person. It's their fault. The best way for you to improve, if you deal with low confidence and low self-esteem, here's the tip. We're only 2.5 minutes in. Point the finger at your fucking self. You're the reason. Look in the mirror. That's the person responsible for your low self-esteem and confidence. Happy? Okay, great. This is not a therapy session. So if you actually need fucking therapy, go get a fucking therapist. Don't listen to a podcast. Get a therapist. So, throughout middle school, it was bad. Like, I had severe social anxiety to, I couldn't explain it. Like, I would just, lock up. And God forbid, I talked to a girl that, I found semi-attractive, just fucking locked up. I dealt with really bad confidence levels, really bad self-esteem for a long, long time, including going into college. Around people I knew really well, I was okay, but it's you put me in a weird situation, I just fucking froze up, super introverted, wanted to just be in the background all the time. And now it's fuck, dude, you're running a podcast, you're a business, you're in front of the camera every single day. It's yes, those things, you have to put yourself in situations outside of your comfort zone. And having low self-esteem, low confidence, a lot of times it's because you're living in this tiny, tiny little fucking comfort zone, and all the things you want in life are just outside of that. You just have to step over it. But you have these mental barriers. You lock up. You tell yourself this bullshit story. And it's bullshit. It's been bullshit for years. You tell yourself this bullshit story that, oh, I can't do that. No, you fucking can. Especially since this podcast is mostly adults listening. You can go and fucking do it. Just do it. I don't know what's so scary about doing it. Now, there can be things that are intimidating, like going to a gym, but at the end of the day, it's your confidence, your self-esteem is telling you a story that going to the gym will be scary. And a lot of times we tell ourselves the worst case scenario stories. We tell ourselves, what if somebody makes fun of me? Well, what if they fucking do? What if it's somebody who you don't know makes fun of you? So the fuck what? What value do they have? They don't know you. You shouldn't value their opinion whatsoever. Fuck that person. But we internalize that, and we're scared. What will this person think of me? This was, before I was really putting content out on the internet. What will this person think of me? You know what? fuck them. They're probably hiding behind an account. They're a keyboard warrior, and they're, projecting their insecurities onto you. And you see this all the time on the internet. So I had a conversation the other day with someone who they're not taking action. And I don't think they listen to the podcast, but they should. But they'll know if they do. And you can send me an angry message. But they're going to remain anonymous. So for the past 2 years, they joined the program about 2 years ago. They got amazing fucking results, but for various reasons had to temporarily leave. But then it was like time to start back up again. Ghost me. And by the way, do not ghost people. Like, if you really get annoyed with like salespeople, the best way to like have them like not annoy you anymore is just say no, not interested. Tip for the future, like salespeople, they might message you again, but it's like their job is to like follow up with you constantly until you say fucking no. So if you're like, oh, you can block them obviously, but if you're getting value out of something, like you're like, oh, just say no. By the way, that's also a step in taking confidence of like actually like making a decision. We'll talk about indecision later and with the comfort zone. But what I was saying is just tell them no. Anyways, this person just has not seen results, and they try to sign up for things, freebies, giveaways, and things like that, and every time has ghosted me. And basically they're on a list now of like people who won't win unless they prove that they are like actually making a decision to better their health and everything. So see this person come through as like they could benefit. However, we know if they don't invest in themselves, they will not get any benefit out of it. So it's a disservice. It goes against our core values as a company to actually give this person the prize, like a giveaway or something for coaching, because they won't utilize it and someone else will better utilize it. So, I reached out. They've been ghosting me for months. Like, keep signing up, but keep ghosting me every time I reach out. And finally I was like, look, here's the deal. And they thought I was insulting them, that I didn't understand what they were going through, that calling someone out, which I didn't insult them. I would never fucking insult them. That's super unprofessional. But I called them out of like, just laid out the facts, and the facts hurt their feelings. And it was insulting that I called them out on their bullshit story. Because they can't make a decision. They can't take fucking action. And this is something where I know they're like sitting at home and like, I want to do something, I just can't. And that's a bullshit story. And you're going to hear bullshit a lot, because a lot of the stories we tell ourselves are fucking bullshit. They are. And once you actually like talk to someone about it, like a therapist or a coach or a mentor, like they're like, that's bullshit. Here's why it's bullshit. And you're like, you know what? That is bullshit. You're right. Okay, let's fix the problem. So this is kind of not the main motivation for this, but there's been a few other people who are just like not taking action. So did a giveaway again not too long ago, and people, we didn't get a ton of people signed up. So I was like, you know what? This was to celebrate my daughter being born. What could I do to help everyone? We can't give free coaching to everyone. Like, we would absolutely crash our system as coaches and, have a shit product. Like, people would get shit coaching. So we can't do that. But what we can do is go through each person and give them an opportunity to sit down and work with us or do a call with us. And if they want to work with us, we can talk about that on the call, but just like help people out. So we didn't get winners, but I reached out to everyone and was like, hey, like, I know, you didn't win, but I'm willing to like sit down with you for half an hour and create a game plan moving forward. Here's why you signed up, blah, blah, blah. I'm too busy. I'm like, what? I don't have time for this. Or just like, again, up and ghost me. So I'm like, fuck, I have to do the reach outs because this is what my sales coach wants me to do. Fuck. Fucking hate that, by the way. Just like say no to me, it's way easier. I'm like, okay, great. I respect your decision. You made a decision. Indecision is the killer of results. So these people, I'm like, what did you think coaching was? And I did post about this in my Facebook community of like, what do you think, like the people doing the 21-day thing, that they have to get on 3 calls with me. Like we do the initial call, an onboarding call, and a week 2 call about what's happening after day 21. Like you're getting on 3 calls in addition to doing all the other stuff involved in coaching. You're too busy for 1 half-an-hour call when you're going to have to do, you try to sign up for something with make this make sense. Or are you just so low confidence in yourself, so low self-esteem that you can't get on a call with someone and talk about things? Like trying to give you the actual help you just signed up for. What do you think this would be like the initial step in coaching? I don't understand. Make it make sense to me. And I know that a lot of people have a lot of things going on, but it's just one of those things. I had someone yesterday, like, I can't give you a time until like next Thursday, which that was, yesterday. I record these usually on a Thursday. So that was yesterday for me, and finally comes back at the time. I'm like, that's family time. Like, I have a call right before that with a client I do every single week, so I'm not moving that call. And then after that, that's family time. Like, you waited all week and you gave me one time, which is like super late at night. Like, fuck that. I have a newborn at home and a 22-month-old. I am not doing a late night call and leaving my wife to deal with both of them at bedtime. Like, nope. Here's when I'm available. Ghost. And this is another person who, again, usually I'm very accommodating with people, so if you're like, fuck this guy, usually I'm very accommodating if this is your first time. But this is another person who has been on, I've had 3 other calls scheduled, and they have canceled or ghosted me on 3 other calls. So my time is valuable. Like, I like putting out the free content. I like doing the podcast for free, guys, but my time is also valuable. Like, don't waste my time. I could put out content to help the 1,100 people in my group in that half-an-hour call I have scheduled with you for free. You took up someone else's spot. If you ghost me on that call, you are the reason someone else might not be getting help. My time is also valuable. I charge. So if I'm giving you free time, if I give you a free consult, realize, like, if someone pays for a consult, I charge $150 an hour for a one-time consult. So if I'm giving you that for free, like, that's usually what I charge. So I could have made money, which would help, pay for my daughter's diapers, but nope. Anyways, this is not about me. This is about helping out you guys. So rant over there, that even though this podcast is all about rants on Fridays. So the reason I say this stuff is whenever we're ghosting, whenever we're having these issues and we're dealing with low self-esteem, low confidence, it comes from, and I've said this multiple times already in this podcast, indecision. Your inability to make a decision is what is stopping you from confidence and self-esteem and taking that step forward. You have to make a fucking decision, and this is one of the biggest reasons I started building confidence is just fucking do it. Do it. The Senator Palpatine, the Star Wars meme, do it. Do it. Join the dark side. You gotta fucking do it. You have to take an action. It's like getting to a fork in the road and be like, which way do I go? And then you just like sit there indefinitely and like starve to death because you couldn't decide whether to go left or right. That's kind of like a lot of people's decisions when it comes to weight loss or hiring a mentor or something. You kind of like live out in like, I'm gathering information. I'm doing research. By the way, most people can't do research. Your research is like total bullshit. Not everyone, but many of you. So you're just like sitting there at a crossroad. It's like, make a fucking choice. Go right, join the coaching program. Go left, do it on your own. That's the decisions. Well, I don't know how to do it on my own. So you gotta go right. I'll think about it. So you just like sit in the road now and you go nowhere. And I follow up with you in like 90 days and you haven't gone anywhere. Like, and usually it's short. It's usually like 14 days later. And then it's like 90 days later. It's like, you haven't gone anywhere. You're just like sitting in the road. Like, motivation will come to me one day. One day I will find it. Like, just go right. Just go. That's the decision. Just make it. And your decision, sometimes you're going to pick wrong. And I think that's what scares people. This is the scare when it comes to like investing with your money, education, anything like that. Is like people are like, what if I'm wrong? And we always focus on that, always on the negative, the worst outcome, but we never focus on like, if you make the right choice, what fucking happens? I know like in my program, what fucking happens is you're never going to have to worry about food again. You're never going to have to worry about your weight again. You will have more energy than you've had in years or decades. You potentially will help improve the relationship of the people around you, including your marriage, significant other, and the rest of your family. Like, that's not fitness related, but it's something that happens. Potentially, not guaranteed, that is never a guarantee, but it's something that we see happens. Or sometimes women get so much confidence they end up divorcing their husband who's been abusive, mentally abusive to them for years and years and years, which we've also seen happen. But that's not necessarily a good thing. It's good that they get out of an abusive relationship. Asterisk there. Before somebody sound clips this, let me say that. So, you have to make decisions. You want to build self-confidence and self-esteem? Put yourself in situations where you have to make a decision to move forward. There is no, let me think about it. Just do it. What do you have to think about? And this is something that, for example, if you're interested in joining PwC, what do you have to think about? If you get on a call with me and we go over the details, you can't find out any information about my program other than other clients, except me and my team. You can't find out. Like, we're the only ones holding the information. We're not an MLM company where you can go and Google Isogenics, Optavia, Weight Watchers. What's your stuff? Like, I'm the only one who can tell you. Or I can connect you with a current or past client who's had great success, and they can tell you the process. We're the only ones. That's it. There's no, like, let me think about it, because what do you have to think about? Like, you can't get more info. You can't do more research. I'm the only one who can give you information. And that goes for a lot of other things in life. Like, there is no other research. You just got to take the action, and that's scary. I get it. I've been in those shoes with the anxiety and the dread and everything else. You have to do it. There is no other option other than making a decision and taking action, and then learning from your failures, because you will fail many times, and then also learning from your successes as well. You will fail. Like, there's no way around it. There's things that you're going to do that are going to get messed up. You're going to have bad weeks, bad days, bad months, bad years. It's going to fucking happen. But you have to make a decision. If you're not going to do that, then you're not going to go anywhere, because if you fail, you learn something that didn't work. You try a workout program and it doesn't work for you. Guess what? You found out something that didn't work. Okay, great. So I'm going to go this direction instead. I know what doesn't work. That person who's like, oh, let me just research. They have no idea, because they haven't tested anything. Like, there is book smarts and street smarts, and the best combination is a little bit of both, but you can only get the quote-unquote street smarts by actually taking action. You can't get that through just like Googling shit on the internet. And most of you aren't. Most people are just like, I'm going to go do my research, and like do a quick Google search or like search something quick on like Instagram, and like that's as far as you get. Like, that's not right. Pull up PubMed and start reading, not just like the results, like actually reading the research studies. There's doing your research. If you're not willing to do that, or you don't know how to read research, you're not doing any research, by the way. So that's how to become anti-fragile. And the whole point is, as you build confidence, as you build self-esteem, things aren't going to hurt your feelings as much, or they're not going to shatter your feelings. Like, I've changed so many things over the year where I was like so dead set on things, so certain, so like, this is the way things are, or I am this kind of person, as when my self-esteem and my confidence were at their all-time lows in my life, where I've been way more flexible and things just don't bother me. For example, mean comments on the internet, people saying mean shit when they unsubscribe from my email list, or sending me nasty messages, like, they don't bother me anymore. Why? Because that's the person who's just fragile, or they're not ready for help yet. But maybe in the future they will be. And hopefully they take the message I have sent them, and one day they'll look back on it and it will help them. But in the meantime, we're just not a good fit to be together, and there are 100 other coaches, and that should also be something where if you're like, fuck this guy, he says the fuck word way too many fucking times. Maybe I'm not the right coach for you, and you should go find someone like, I know a Christian coach who probably doesn't drop the F-bomb a whole bunch. Probably didn't make it this far into the podcast, but there's many coaches, and the reason why is when you sign up for a coach, that coach you need to have a relationship with. And this is not like boyfriend-girlfriend relationship or husband-wife. This is like a student mentor. When I've had bad teachers and good teachers, I have had very difficult teachers, but you know what? The meanest, hardest teachers I've had, I've actually learned a lot from. And I've had teachers where I thought they were great people and I struggled with their class. Like, oh, I look forward to being with this person. And then when they teach, I get to the test and like my test grades are like super low. Like I had those people. And I've had others where you just don't connect whatsoever. And I've had others where it's like super, like they're super cool, super easy. And the reason I bring up teachers is we've all had fucking teachers. If you're like, oh, coaching doesn't work for me, mentorships don't work for me, fuck, they don't. That's how you got brought up for at least the first like 18 years of your life. Bullshit. Don't tell yourself that. You played sports, you had a coach. You went to school, you had a teacher / mentor. How did you learn the position you currently work in? Somebody taught you, aka mentored you. Everything we do, for the most part, happens through mentorships, teachers, coaches, someone teaching you how to do something. The whole DIY thing, and I'm there with you guys. If you're a DIYer, that's great. It's also the slowest fucking way to do it. You learn a lot, you learn what not to do. But the results I built by DIYing my nutrition and my fitness, the results I have, I could have gotten in half the time. With the knowledge I know now, if I had hired a coach, I would have had them in half the time. Easy. If not a quarter of the time. Way fucking faster than trying to DIY it myself, getting emotional, trying to avoid the hard decisions. And that's another thing of like hard decision making. A lot of times we just want to avoid it. Like we want to pretend it's not there. And then it's like, no. We need to make a decision. You're like, oh, I'm going to pretend and I'm just going to hold it off and procrastinate on this decision. We're just going to hold it out in limbo. It's like, no. If you want to move forward, you have to make a decision. That's tough. Let me think about it. You need to think, you just need to take action. So, I'm not sure where to go from here. Anyways, I think this is a great place to end today's episode, guys. So, if you want to get results with something, you need to make a decision and you need to take action. Now, action doesn't mean you need to like do the hardest thing possible. That's usually the worst thing. But you need to do something to move the needle forward, even if it's something super tiny. And if that person who I was talking about earlier is listening and they can move the needle forward, fucking awesome. Love it. Especially if this pissed them off and they're like, I'm going to prove this person wrong. Cool, I did my job. Like, if she gets her results, fucking awesome. Great. I love that for that person. But they don't, well, you didn't make a decision. So regardless, make a decision, do something, take action, learn from that action. Did it work? Did it not? Yes. Cool. It's kind of like a flow chart. Like, did it work? Yes. Cool. Next decision. Did it not work? No. All right. Let's move back to square one. Let's go with the other decision. We learned that this doesn't work. Let's go this route. Okay, great. Did we get results? Yes, no. No again. Let's go back to square one. Let's make a new decision. Okay, this time we got results. Awesome. Why? Okay, now we can make better, more informed decisions moving forward. That's literally how it works. That is just how it works. So hopefully this is helpful. And that is it for today, guys. So as always, check out the show notes for free resources down there. You need help making a decision. There's also some free resources down there. And since this is coming out at the end of July, we're also going to be looking to take on our August clients. So we're going to be looking for 5 clients to bring on in August. Down below, you want an action to take for the day. Down below is the PwC client application. You do have to apply. We don't take everyone. You need to be ready to invest in your health and make a decision. So that is down below. Click that link. If you're ready to invest in yourself, you know this is the right decision, or maybe the decision you need to make to help you lose weight, improve your confidence, improve your energy levels, get the results you know, want, and deserve. That is where you want to click. Anyways, happy fucking Friday, guys. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Go kill it out there.